I know that many of us have always heard of love at first sight, and I know for certain that we have all wondered and thought of who our soulmate might be. The type of romance and infatuation has become such a big part of our society and is making such a huge influence on how we view our relationships. The interesting thing is, this goes for people at any age, not just those of a young mind. However, what are the things that build a strong foundation for a happy, long-lasting marriage? I am here to argue that it is not this exciting type of romantic love that will lead to a long-lasting and satisfying marriage. Being a woman and being who I am, I will wholly admit that I am a sucker for romance. I truly understand how fun and how exciting it can be. It is only human nature to be intrigued by the anticipation of first falling for someone and what that unknown truly holds. I know full well that romance is a huge key to having happiness in a relationship. It allows us to grow closer and to get to know each other in a different and much deeper way. The depth and that kind of bond will only help to strengthen, define, and validate our marriage. With regards to any romantic relationship, I think it is important to remember these two types of ships that pave the way for a successful marriage. First being friendship, and the other being courtship. Friendship can be defined as many things. However, according to an article on Psychology Today, friendship is comprised of several things, such as common interests, history, common values, and equality. The article also discussed what it really is that makes a friend worthy of the name, and those things were a commitment to the other's happiness, not asking the other to place their friendship above their own values, and lastly, wanting to be a good influence for the other. I want to briefly talk about those first four concepts that were discussed. As human beings, we develop certain interests in certain things. Over time, we are able to identify with certain people that share those interests with us. When we find those individuals, it is easy for us to develop conversations and relationships. It allows you to feel united. And when I think about history, I am immediately drawn to think about my own friends and the true history that we have and all the fun times and experiences that helped us to grow closer to one another. It is crucial for us to share common values with our friends. When we are able to have that dimension in our friendships, it helps relax in knowing that your friend accepts you for all you are and supports you in that. Lastly, for equality. I do believe that this could mean a variety of things, but I think more than anything it is suggesting that friends need to put forth effort and the other needs to reciprocate in order to feel that you are both contributing to your friendship. When you are able to establish those things with your peers, or anyone for that matter, the second set of principles comes easily. It is easy to be committed to someone and ensuring that they find happiness in their life. You want to see them succeed and do things that will bring them happiness in their life. You will never want them to sacrifice things that they hold dear to their heart, and in turn you would rather make sacrifices for them to ensure that their well-being is taken care of. Lastly, you only desire to bring that individual up, to set a good example for them to follow, because you surely have enough respect for them in that they have done the same for you. As I have discussed these varying aspects of a friendship, I would like for you to think how these aspects would be ones that you would want in your marriage, and how they might help your marriage more than just being romantic would. I oftentimes think about my dating experiences and how easy it was for me to identify the very good ones from the very bad ones. Some dates led to a relationship, whether that was either long-lasting or short, and some dates led to a screeching halt of any type of relationship ever being able to develop. With that being said, I believe that is all part of the experience. It helps people to understand what they want in a spouse and what they don't want. With that being said, I feel that it is important for me to identify that there is a difference between dating and courting. Dating is weeding through certain people or certain characteristics that you would want and wouldn't want. Courting is being involved with someone romantically, typically with the intention of marrying. It is a more mature relationship than simply just dating. According to Quentin McCall's website, he lists 23 essential facts about courtship that we should all know. I will not discuss all 23 of them, however. I feel that there are a few that have great value that most people absolutely need to know. Quentin mentions that courtship is a selfless relationship. He says, if you are a selfish person, you should not enter into a mature relationship until you are prepared to share a life with someone. He also said that a healthy courtship should bring out the best in you. It is an opportunity for two people to truly become best friends. With a healthy courtship, you will be able to develop strong communication skills because it is a safe place where you do not need to hide your feelings or emotions. Lastly, he mentions that you should not enter into a courtship if you are not ready for marriage. This is why we date. It is time for us to prepare ourselves and distinguish just exactly what it is that we want. During your courtship, it is important to have that singular goal in mind. If one or the other does not, it is difficult for a healthy relationship to exist. As Quentin discussed these essential facts, it was interesting to read that very few of them included things of a romantic nature. Everything included things that we have learned about within our friendship discussion, just on a more deeper level with a singular goal in mind. With all of these things being said, a relationship between a man and a woman is beyond complex. It is very difficult for people to understand, even those that are in the relationship. Each relationship is unique in its own way, and no one relationship is ever the same. Romance is a crucial aspect that allows people to demonstrate and share their love for each other. It allows for a special bond that is truly necessary for a successful marriage. However, I think that it is more important to remember how that romance is developed and the time and effort that we put into the relationship on top of it. As Dr. John Gottman said in his book, The 7 Principles of Making a Marriage Work, he said, romance is by far a more humdrum approach to staying connected. It is kept alive each time you let your spouse know he or she is valued during the grind of everyday life. As comical as it may sound, romance actually grows when a couple are in the supermarket and the wife says, "Hey, are we out of bleach?" And the husband says, "I don't know, let me go grab some just in case," instead of just shrugging apathetically. It grows when you know your spouse is having a bad day at work and you take 60 seconds out of your day to leave words of encouragement on their voicemail. In successful instances, husbands and wives are making a choice to turn toward each other rather than turning away. Turning toward is the basis of emotional connection, romance, passion, and a good sex life." Unquote. As I conclude, I want to again acknowledge that the excitement of romance is very important and a crucial part of our relationship and potential marriages. However, the romantic love that we all fantasize about is truly not what keeps our marriages strong and everlasting. It is taking the time to get to knowing someone in a variety of scenarios, and by gaining a respect for someone to only want great and happy things for them. We must develop an utmost concern for the other's well-being. These are the things that require work, but they are the sure foundations of a happy and long-lasting marriage. President Spencer W. Kimball once said, "Soulmates are fiction and an illusion, and while every young man and young woman will seek with all diligence and prayerfulness to find a mate with whom life can be utmost compatible with, yet it is certain that almost any good man and any good woman can have happiness and a successful marriage if both are willing to pay the price." Marriage is the most basic part of our society that cannot be replaced by any other type of relationship. It is important that we understand the impact of a healthy marriage, not just for the people involved, but for the society as a whole. I reiterate again that it is not the mystical, romantical stories that we hear of that build a great marriage. It is the willingness to have our priorities straight in first developing a friendship that will lead to a successful courtship, which then sets the stage for a very satisfactory marriage. However, this goes without being said, it will take hard work. It will take sacrifice, and without a doubt that romance that we all hope for will always be present.